Hi, everybody. Happy Eclipse Eve. Do you have your Eclipse stockings hung nicely by the fire? Are you ready for tomorrow? My goodness, it feels like a holiday tomorrow. I can't believe it's already here. I'm really glad it's already here because as a meteorologist, I'm telling you, the questions are endless on if it's going to be cloudy or not. And it's still kind of up in the air depending on where you are. But I've got good news for us here in the region. If you are traveling tomorrow to Totality, there are going to be some spots that you want to be, some spots you don't want to be. So I'm going to take you through that. But first and foremost, happy Sunday evening to you, everybody. We're starting to turn the tide here into what feels like spring finally. I know a lot of people for the first time this weekend out mowing their lawn, doing some yard work, getting things going again. So we're certainly turning that corner as we talked about last week on Region Weather Live. We were talking about how we'd be seeing that tide turn this week, and we're going to flip things over to spring, and we're certainly going to do that this week. So I appreciate you guys joining us. First on board here tonight, Jeff, good evening to you. Thanks for joining us. Derek, hello to you. Mary's with us. Mary reported on some of the rain they got earlier or in your backyard. I know everyone got rain today. Don Z, good evening to you. Wendy's with us. Susan, hello. Derek says picked up only 0.34 in Cedar Lake. Pretty good downpours, though, came down with that line moving through. It's now moving out. Linda's happy for the eclipse. Stephen, thanks for joining us. Susan, Jill, Phoebe's with us. Had a good thunderstorm during her nap, always. That's usually when thunderstorms occur. Tom's back to the swamp yard again. Angel's with us. And Deborah, good evening to you as well. All right, we have a lot to talk about here, guys. I've just loaded up the information here today. Or tonight, and we've got a lot to cover. So I don't want to leave out our sponsors, guys. They keep all this for free. They're awesome. They're all local, family-owned businesses, which I love. All local to Northwest Indiana. I want to start, if you're not familiar with our top one, that's Minogue.life, navigating the world of Medicare, Medicaid, life insurance, all that stuff. It's a mess, right? It's confusing. And someone last week jumped on and said the best thing they've ever done is got themselves an agent that understands all that. And I've got one for you, and he's amazing. His wife and he have been Region Weather followers for years, and they're just awesome. They do great work in the community, and he does great work around that subject. So Minogue.life is the place to go. Answering your questions and providing solutions, all your Medicare, life, and health insurance needs. There's a lot of them out there. Michael is amazing. He will take time to figure out exactly what you need. He'll tell you what you don't need as well. I mean, a lot of people don't really need life insurance once you get to a certain age. Just depends on who's depending on you, right? So there's a lot of different ways to navigate that scene and a place to go for that. Just free consultation. There's no pressure whatsoever. He does great work. Minogue.life is the place to go. Public service adjusting, that is a much needed unknown thing here in Northwest Indiana and all around the country. You have your insurance company, right? So if something happens, right? Tree falls, you've got flooding in your basement, I don't know, window breaks, you drive your car through the garage, whatever it happens to be. I'm not going to judge. You usually go to your insurance company, right? Well, you don't have to. You don't always have to do that. You can go to PSA. That's our public service adjusters here in Northwest Indiana. They're all licensed, local, insured. And what they do is they will handle your claim much, much quicker than your insurance company will, and they'll get you the money you deserve to cover the loss of whatever you happen to have. They do great work. Just check out their webpage. It's publicserviceadjusting.com. They have 5-star reviews. It's the little known secret that people do not know about, obviously, because it's a secret that you need to know about. All right. So publicserviceadjusting.com. We've got Ewing MECH, or Ewing Mechanical Services. That's the webpage, is ewingmech.com. They have some great specials right now around air conditioner tune-ups. You're going to need that eventually, right? It's only $69 flat for them to come on out and tune up your air conditioner. They'll wash it off. They'll clean it up, make sure all the coils are good. Get some new Freon in if you need. They do great work. They do work around everything else HVAC related as well. So if your furnace is on the fritz or you want to get a new AC this year, they've got some great packaging around thermostats, stuff like that. It's ewingmech.com. Tiger Plumbing is now doing $40 off sump pumps. Sump pumps are big this time of year. We have been a swamp here in Northwest Indiana, and I'll tell you, we need some water to be removed from the foundation of the house sometimes, right? You don't want that getting into the basement. Sump pump's a good way to go, and Tiger Plumbing does great work around that. They're now offering $40 off. which is better than nothing, right? If you don't have a sump pump and you need one, now's the time to do that. They do everything else in terms of where water flows and where it should go and not go and all that good stuff. So tigerplumbing.net is the place to go. And last but not least, Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Valparaiso. They've been serving Northwest Indiana for years. They've got a great line of Jeeps out right now. If you like driving with doors off and no ceiling, then that is the place to go to get yourself a new Jeep for summer. They're ready to go there in Valparaiso. Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. All right, big picture pattern across the country right now. This is that pesky low we're talking about. We had some good rumbles of thunder moving through earlier this afternoon. All the rain is now east. We still have a few leftover showers dotting the area, but most of the rain is going to be done. I think one more little tiny shower will move through Lake County here in the next 10 minutes. But that's it. What I want to show you on this isn't the rain. Let's talk about clouds. All right. So sun is setting, so we're kind of losing the cloud cover on here. I get it. But look what's out towards the west. So here's your cold front. All right. Here's your big, this is actually a warm front. Here's your big area of low pressure that's kind of in here, right? So things look great for the eclipse tomorrow, right? Well, there's a pesky little area of clouds. I should have showed it to you. I just canceled out. There's a pesky area of clouds coming out of Mexico right now, all right? And that area of clouds is going to come up here. It's going to gather a little bit of moisture, and we're going to have clouds around tomorrow that kind of develop. And I'll show you that here in a second. Let's talk rain first. Rain's out of here. There you go. Low pressure heads away. We're not dealing with rain tomorrow. There's going to be an area of clouds off of that. All right. And that's where things get kind of problematic here for the forecast. But we're dry through Tuesday. Okay. So nothing to worry about through Tuesday. We do have a system. You can kind of see it gathering steam down here. This is going to be a true spring-like system. I think we'll have thunderstorms with it later in the week, but that will bring rain later in the week up here. Okay. But until then, we're fine. So let me start. I want to start big picture. Let's go out the next 10, 15 days like we always do on these Region Weather Live broadcasts. And then I want to hone in on the eclipse and the actual cloud cover. Okay, we'll kind of go, usually we go detailed and then we go big picture. I'm going to go big picture and then detailed. Okay, so we'll breeze through this. Here's your storm system. All right, as it continues to wind up, that low just kind of fizzles. But here's that renewed moisture coming out of the Gulf, new area low pressure. So this is Tuesday now. We're still dry. Here comes your low pressure, lots of moisture. In fact, areas that had severe drought last year in Mississippi, I mean, they couldn't buy a raindrop. Mississippi, Louisiana, they're going to get anywhere from, some models are saying 9 to 12 inches of rain in the next couple of days. So there is going to be, you'll probably see national news. They'll be talking about the flooding down there. Just unbelievable how one year can be different from the next. Anyway, all that moisture comes our way. This is Wednesday. We're still dry. Here's Thursday, low pressure now coming up through Tennessee. We've got rain with it. I do think there'll be severe weather on the southern end. As of right now, we're not in that, but we'll have to keep an eye on the track of the low. You've heard that before. Either way, we get rain and wind around here. Not too cold with us, though. This stays kind of on the milder side. What this system will do as it heads up into the Great Lakes is it's going to grab a chunk of cold air from Canada. Not that cold, but cool, and it'll kind of wrap it in. And so we get that Thursday night into Friday, but it doesn't last long. And all indication, when that system's out of here, we get another low off towards our west, which is always a good thing this time of year because it helps to warm us up. If we have a low off towards our west, it brings a southerly flow that taps into the Gulf of Mexico air, warmer air, etc. And that's where we're going to go. We'll have a quick rebound. And by next weekend, we're looking mild again, like probably 60s and 70s. So we don't have any cold spells this week. That's the good news. But we do have this system that'll be coming in, and the pattern does look to be active with a storm system every 3 days or so as we go throughout the end of the month. I do not see any snow with this one, but things get real interesting out towards the west with this next one. I do think we'll stay on the warmer side of that. But, you know, what goes up must come down. And it's been the west, which has been warm the last couple of weeks. We've been on the colder side in the eastern half of the country. That's going to flip, and it looks to stay flipped for a while. Where the west is cold, they're dealing with snow. I mean, there's areas that have been in the 70s and 80s out there in recent weeks that are getting snow. So that'd be like us getting it. But overall, it looks like that pattern is going to stay mild for the eastern half of the country. We'll have to see, though, where it goes end of the month. There are some signs. All right, I do want to look at temperatures. I know these numbers are small. I hope you can see them. And if not, I'll just give you kind of the synopsis of why I'm showing this. I just wanted to check and see what kind of temperatures we typically get in April, right? Like, what did we have last year? What did we have the year before? So this is pretty pretty I guess, telling of what April can do. And it does this every year. This was last year, all right, in April. And these were our high temperatures. So today we're sitting at April 7th. It was 54 degrees last year. And then we were in the 60s. And then we got into the 70s by April 11th. And then we had this 4-day stretch of lower 80s last year. I don't remember that. I don't remember weather really well. But last year in mid-April, like next week, we had a stretch of 80-degree temperatures. But just so you know, we don't always stay there, all right? We in our typical average high right now is in the mid 50s. But you notice we can get 80s, but then after that, just a couple of days later, we had a 38 for a high. And then 2 days after that, it was back up to 78 and 79. So, and then we kind of bottomed out in the 50s and 60s to end the month. I say that because April's capable of anything, all right? So just when we think we're turning the corner and we're getting into the 60s, we'll have some 70s this week. You know, I don't want us to say, okay, let's get the plants in the ground. Let's say goodbye to spring or winter, because it's not always the case, okay? It can be a very fickle month. And so just an example of kind of where we went last year with that. In terms of our temperature forecasts here over the next, 10 days or so, real mild over the next couple days. All right. Real great for the eclipse watching tomorrow. Tuesday, still mild. Remember that front goes in and grabs cooler air Thursday, Friday. So we'll be back into the 50s. That's very manageable though. And then we're back up into the 60s and 70s as it looks right now for the weekend into next week. So the mild air is here to stay as of right now for the next 7 to 10 days. Okay. All right, let's talk eclipse. Just as a reminder where totality is, you can see in that path just south of the Lafayette area, Indianapolis is in it, all the way down towards just north of Cincinnati. I don't know if you saw earlier this week, scientists adjusted the width of the totality by about 2 miles. So I believe that took Kokomo out. I'm not sure if Kokomo is on the line or not, but some cities were out of it all of a sudden, which I mean, I got a couple questions. Does it make a difference if you're in totality or just outside of it? And it really does. And again, this is not from my personal experience. I've never experienced it. I will tomorrow. But from what I've heard and what, other scientists and meteorologists have been in and have told me is that totality is, I mean, obviously it gets completely dark, but if you're at 98 or 99%, the light's still shining on you. So it's not the same as totality. That's much, much different feel to it. So there's that, just so you know. But this is where you'd have to travel. Okay. Well, we got 2.5 hour trip, depending on where you go. If you're going east or south, you can certainly do it. Keep in mind, it's packed in these locations. It'd have to be a day trip, if anything. Do you even want to travel? That's the big question. So let's dive in. All right. I'm going to start with the Euro, okay, and then I'm going to go towards the high-res stuff that we're getting pictures of now, okay, in terms of cloud cover. So here we go. This is what's going to happen tomorrow. So this is tomorrow morning. We're waking up. This is overnight into the morning. We're waking up to clear blue skies here in the region, all right? You're going to say, oh, what a great day to see the eclipse. Even if it's 80, 90%, we're good. What's going to happen? I mentioned that little area of clouds coming out of Mexico right now. It's down by southern Arizona and New Mexico. It's on the jet stream. Jet stream's still rolling through. And what that's going to do, this is early afternoon right here. This is 3 o'clock. Okay, so this is 2 o'clock. This is 3 o'clock. Look at this little wave of clouds that comes and see it right here. Good news is this is going to be high to mid-level clouds. So what does that mean? We can't see much in terms of the eclipse if we have low clouds around, and I don't anticipate low clouds being here. It becomes obscured when we have high and mid-level clouds. So you can still see it, but you can't see it all the way. Obviously, it's not a clear blue sky. That's what I'm expecting tomorrow as the eclipse rolls in. All right, so here we go. This is what the Euro's saying now, less than 24 hours out. It has that wave of clouds moving through. So we'll start sunny. And then some clouds are going to start to show up, okay, by late morning into midday. And the big question is, do those clouds clear out in time for the eclipse, right? So the Euro has us clearing out in our counties, exception being Newton and Jasper, still with some high clouds. And then it has a pretty decent high and mid-level cloud deck down towards Indianapolis. That might not be the place to go. And then it's got areas down towards like Evansville, Cincinnati, although they're out of totality, barely. It has a little clearing in the skies down there. Okay, so again, cloud cover forecast is like the last thing that we're confident in, all right, because we're predicting clouds versus rain and all that stuff. So there's still some room for error with this, okay? I do want to show you, though, how the models have agreed with this. This is really, really about as high res as we can get here outside of my in-house models that I use at work. But this is kind of painting a similar scene tomorrow. So this is tomorrow early afternoon. We've got just a few high clouds around, otherwise clear skies. And then these clouds start to show up. So here's totality right here. The HERB model has lots of sunshine for the region. You don't have to go too far north of Indianapolis to encounter that sunshine. And then look at this deck down towards southern Illinois. So what are we to think about this? The forecast hasn't really changed with this. We're still have a mix of clouds and sun. All right. The big question is how fast and how thick are these clouds that are coming in from the south? I do think they're high and mid-level. And are they going to ruin the eclipse or not? It's going to be a nowcast situation where we're looking at the satellite, 2-3 hours out, and we're trying to forecast where these clouds are. But I do think we'll be playing with clouds, especially the further south you are. Our best chance of clearing skies are going to be right here in Northwest Indiana, at least for that time. All right. So probably best if you don't feel like traveling, just stay put. All right. No need to chase the clear skies and stuff like that. And then look how quickly this changes. We get all sorts of clouds by tomorrow evening, and then eventually we turn very cloudy later this week with all that moisture. So it would have been nice, yes, to get the eclipse in the morning versus the afternoon, but we can't control that. At least we're getting one at all. So, so there's that. All right. So that's what we're looking at. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask them. Otherwise, we'll get you on your way here on this Sunday night. I'll get to bed, and I've got a morning show tomorrow morning. And I'll tell you, I'm probably going to have limited posts, I'll be honest, during the eclipse tomorrow. We've got a real heavy load here at our local TV station that we've got coverage. We've got a special that we're doing on that. And I'm already getting questions in, from a lot of different organizations in town. So I'll probably be locked up on that. But that's kind of the way it goes here. And we're going to be dealing with the same thing here too. We're going to have a mix of clouds, hopefully clearing for a little bit of clear sky. But man, it's going to be just incredible. I'm really excited because we are in the path of totality here. It's crazy. And I'm really looking forward to it. I imagine I'm going to cry. I don't know why. I was watching, what was I watching? Oh, the Weather Channel. I was watching some coverage from, I remember years past, but Stephanie Abrams just broke down in tears when it happened. And I started crying watching her. And, my wife's like, she's like, what? It's just scientifically, it's emotional as well. It's kind of cool. So I don't know. Every experience is a little different for everyone, but I'm really excited for it tomorrow. All right. So let's get to your questions here. Let's see. Phoebe said, great thunderstorm. Donna has some water around still. Yeah, Jill, Sandusky is interesting because Sandusky is going to be one of the better chances to view. Here's what the HER's saying now. It's now bringing in these clouds. It has been, but it's bringing in a pretty decent deck of clouds, mainly high and mid-level, so it would be filtered. But you notice out towards Sandusky there, it's really close to the holes in the sky. So you have the best chance there, I think, out of anyone in Northeast Ohio, but we'll see. If we could only get the eclipse in the morning, there's like all this clearing, at least chunks of it. But I mean, look at these clouds, guys. There's just clouds everywhere. So it's going to be, it's just going to be such a close call. We're better off here, though, than they are down in Texas. They're going to have severe weather down there tomorrow and rain. The clouds stretch all the way up into Missouri. Best place in the country to view it is locally is one of the better chances, but up in Vermont and Maine, they're expecting mainly clear skies still from this. So if you guys haven't bought your ticket yet, probably the place to go. Okay. So there's that. Oh, Jill, I appreciate that. Donna, thanks for listening on the radio side of things. I do appreciate that. Just a reminder, we're on 103.9, 105.5, and 107.1 every single day. We have region weather forecasts on there. We also do talkbacks in the morning with Steve, the one and only Steve Zana. It's just a good time. So make sure you check them out if you're heading on your way to work. Good listening. Let's see. Hi, Ethan. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you, buddy. Robin says, well, then you have a great day tomorrow. I appreciate that. Susan, I wouldn't say hi demand, just demand. I'm in demand tomorrow. Sean, yeah, let's check it out. Sean, thanks for joining us on our YouTube channel. He says, any chance you can see possible temps for April 22nd? We can. I don't know how accurate they're going to be, Sean, but let's go to, I'm going to go GFS because that'll go out the longest for you. My general thinking for later on this month is that we get some cooler air in here. I do think things are going to kind of switch. So just so you know, that may be kind of the route we're going with this. I bet it would be cooler then, but we'll see. We'll see with the GFS. We're going to go deterministic, which isn't always the most accurate thing, but at least it'll get us there. Here's April 22nd for you, Sean. The GFS deterministic model has us going back into the 50s, some cooler air coming in. It doesn't mean that's true. The GFS also had us in the mid 80s, I think, next week, which, again, that hasn't happened yet either. But just so you know, some of the trends are showing cooler later this month. Not cold, but cooler. Okay, so there's that. Phoebe loved the storm during her nap. You're welcome. Thank you. I'm glad you liked the broadcast tonight. Enjoy tomorrow as well. So, yeah, thunderstorms are just great, aren't they? They really are. All right, I think I got to most of them. Again, I'm getting, I don't know if there's a delay or what, but I'm getting some of these comments a little bit later. Some people are still saying hello, and that's okay. All right, well, guys, listen, enjoy the eclipse tomorrow, partial or not. I mean, this is a good one tomorrow, and it's not very often that, you know, Earth, Moon, all that stuff aligns to do stuff like this for us. So enjoy the experience wherever you are. Guys, Sean, you're welcome. And hi, Kim. Either way, the clouds aren't gonna give you as good of a view, right? If there are clouds where you are, just know that, but it's still gonna be amazing. It's still gonna get darker, and it's just gonna be cool. It's gonna be awesome. So enjoy it. Just know it's not, you know, it's not gonna be the worst thing ever if we have some clouds. Okay. All right. Have a great day tomorrow, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Okay.